lives every single year. Attempting to manage this crisis has created a $42 billion addiction treatment industry, yet current therapies often result in high relapse rates. Now, researchers are focusing on an alternative called Iboga. It is currently the only known compound capable of stopping physical opioid withdrawal symptoms virtually overnight. Biotech companies are aggressively testing analogs of this molecule. They are racing to secure FDA approval and capture a significant share of the addiction treatment market. Their engineering goal is specific: isolate the anti-addictive properties of the compound while removing the intense, multi-day hallucinogenic effects. This illustrates a modern medical impulse. The objective is to refine the active chemical into a sterile pill, detached from its cultural and historical origins. But you cannot synthesize this molecule's history. The chemical is derived from the root bark of Tabernanthe iboga, a shrub indigenous to the dense rainforests of Gabon, Cameroon, and the Congo basin. Because iboga is classified as a Schedule I controlled substance in the U.S., it remains illegal to prescribe. Desperate individuals looking to kick their habits are forced to travel to unregulated underground clinics abroad. Long before Western chemists began measuring how the alkaloid interacts with dopamine and serotonin receptors, indigenous African tribes utilized this raw root bark as a spiritual tool. As science scrambles to reverse engineer a chemical cure, a paradox emerges. Does the healing power live inside the isolated molecule, or inside the ritualized consumption of the sacrament? The Bwiti religion utilizes Iboga root bark as an entheogen, a sacred sacrament consumed to facilitate spiritual initiation and ancestral communion. The ceremonies are communal, strictly nocturnal, and highly structured. They are led by a ritual specialist known as Nganga, who oversees the dosing and the physical safety of the participants. The sensory environment is heavily controlled. Relentless drumming, hand clapping, and the rhythmic twang of harp music fill the air. These sounds are designed to sustain the initiate's trance state through the night. While a clinical detox treats addiction as a physiological error to be corrected, the Bwiti frame the experience as a symbolic death and rebirth. In this worldview, the community, the music, and the physical setting are considered inextricable parts of the medicine itself. When the psychoactive effects take hold, users experience a rapid cycling of thousands of thoughts, often 3 or 4 a second. Researchers and patients refer to this stage as the mind cleanse. It functions as a psychological defragmentation. The initiate is forced to review their memories and confront personal history, including repressed traumas, without the ability to look away. The physical endurance required is immense. Initiates remain in an immobilized state for days, effectively stripping away their ego and standard defensive behaviors. After the chaos subsides, an intense emotional purge follows. Individuals frequently emerge having released deep-seated guilt and the compulsions that drove their substance use. This grueling ordeal is the mechanism of the psychological healing. It is a guided confrontation with the self, distinct from a passive neurochemical event. This diagram illustrates the biological theory. Iboga physically resets the brain's reward circuitry, modulating receptors damaged by long-term addiction. But the molecule carries physiological risks. It has a high toxicity level and blocks the hERG channel, which controls vital ion pathways in the heart. This blockage elongates the heart rhythm, a condition called QT prolongation. Under uncontrolled circumstances, this leads to lethal cardiac arrhythmias. This creates friction between two approaches. Western science treats the psychoactive experience as a dangerous side effect, while largely ignoring the psychological breakthroughs that occur during the trip. We are looking at 2 separate models of safety. Western medicine relies on clinical monitoring and continuous ECGs. The Bwiti rely on strict fasting, experienced ancestral guidance, and communal accountability. Biotech investors are placing their bets on chemistry. Their objective is to engineer a non-toxic, non-hallucinogenic version of Iboga to create a scalable pharmaceutical. The African tradition suggests that the hallucinogenic trip and the forced accountability to one's past are precisely what facilitate the identity shift required to prevent relapse. As research labs race to formulate a clinical answer to a modern epidemic, they are testing whether a molecular reset can truly replace a spiritual one. We must ask if it is possible to extract the healing from the ceremony.
All right, all right, all right. That was the video to begin our discussion. Can you hear me? Unmute yourself.
Greetings, greetings, Ashe and Kwara. How you doing?
I've seen better days. I've never looked any better though.
Well, I can beg to differ. Some of your books, I see the young man.
I hear that. I hear that. You did get your book already, all right?
Yeah, it was sitting right. Oh, here it is on my desk. Yeah, let me grab it because I wanted it with me anyway.
Mm-hmm. And I was
Yeah,
just playing for those of you just tuning in, just playing a
I was
video.
sitting, I was
Oh,
sitting in the chair over there with it with my camera, and then I had to run over here to my desk. But go ahead. I'm sorry. You were saying.
I was just saying to people tuning in, I'm just was playing a video, one on the spiritual benefits of the Iboga, traditional African medicinal herb, and its ritual ceremony in which it is
Mhm.
utilized in Gabon, Cameroon, parts of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Kenya. And I was comparing that to the Western pharmaceutical extraction of the alkaloid ibogaine from this. The ibogaine carries risks of death, but we do not see directly any deaths attributed to the ceremony, the Bequeat ceremony, as conducted by the indigenous Africans. Now, I must say, my brother, the game theory book led me here. This is about the fourth major breakthrough that I've had in my research since the book came out. And the book has been out about 3 or 4 weeks. My research on the Ebola outbreak over there was
Mhm.
mind blowing and far, far, far ahead of everyone else. Um,
No doubt.
this this is really breakthrough. And then there was another one. I can't think of what it is right now, but really breakthrough research. Oh, the breakthrough that woke me up one morning with the words Ubuntu equilibrium in my head.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we are introducing that term, Ubuntu equilibrium, to the world, to African people around the world, and to the future. I am convinced that the Ubuntu equilibrium is, it's kind of like the key to unlock everything Pan-African, everything positive. And the
Yeah.
last point I'll say is that now that I'm on this Iboga traditional African medicinal herb platform, I have uncovered a new level of collaboration, cooperation. So we have
Hmm.
found someone to step up to manufacture this product. And she needs money. She wants to create a whole new lab for international certification to make the
Hmm.
product in. And the lab is not going to be cheap, but it's not going to be expensive. Compared to Western medicine, it's just pennies, pennies, pennies. It'll be $100,000. And it does not all have to happen at once. But
Okay.
they are
We need to.
expecting us across the diaspora to step in as investors. You were asking?
Yeah. No. Great to hear that. Yeah, that is the journey we're on. There's been an awakening for myself. The
Mm-hmm.
timing couldn't have been better because I was working on a community, and then you launched this, and I didn't know where it would lead me, but for the whole 3 months, it has me riveted. And I'm ready now, man. I'm ready to jump in everything cosmetic. From the cosmos. If you're getting these downloads and it's
Mm-hmm.
inspiring you, it's gonna wake up a bunch of people. And I'm gonna introduce with your support the um the equilibrium, the Ubuntu equilibrium to the
Mm-hmm.
people that I'm gonna start talking to this coming week with my first few videos
Awesome.
about
Awesome.
the movement basically. And I think you should write a book more in detail about that because that's how we're going to do this.
Well,
This master study is great, but we need now something more practical as well for execution purposes.
the next book I had been planning on writing is actually a collaboration among a number of authors
Okay.
on the book was to be entitled Ubuntu, but I'm going to
Oh,
change the title to the Ubuntu Equilibrium.
yes, sir. Oh my God. This is
And
it, man. Timing couldn't be better.
that's right.
This
And if
is,
you want to be a contributor to that, the
yes,
invitation is open to you. A number of authors are contributing to it. Yours will be most valuable, my brother.
well, I will say this. This is my project for this summer to
Mm-hmm.
support this. I'm actually going to be out there for probably a few days, maybe a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
So, you'll see that my input is definitely serious. I'm not just talking this. It's a slow process, as you know, trying to build without the real resources. But when you have a vision, you got to run with it. And that's what I'm going to start doing this month,
That's right.
from July on.
Well, I'm so honored and so proud to have you in our corner. Um, the other members of our classroom, one by one, two by two, they're dropping out. I send them all invitation every week. I say the same thing every week. And at a certain point,
It requires work, and most people, doesn't matter what the age is, they don't want to do work.
they
They
don't
don't
want to
mind
do the work.
watching a video.
Hmm.
Nobody's getting up. You interrupting their their melatonin, dopamine releases, or whatever they're doing. We're doing,
That's
and
right.
this requires. What you're right. You already know it's very extensive mind. Um, it's very critical thinking,
Hmm.
and you to really grasp these concepts that we need to apply. You gotta want to sit with that stuff for a while and learn. And I don't see that in our society. That's the downside at this point for us.
Yeah,
But however, there is a market out there for this,
that's
just
right.
like anything else.
And there is a market amongst our people for this. It's
That's
just
right.
that the first people to come along and hear about it, it didn't really grasp with them. But
There
those
you go.
are not the ultimate people. I have met about 4 or 5 people this week, including an
Hmm.
investor who's based in London and Philadelphia. I just
Okay.
sent him the book yesterday, and I'm
My
really
goodness.
excited about what we are putting together. And I'm very pleased with your behavior, to say the absolute least. Your behavior is the most encouraging behavior from amongst this group that I assembled that
That's
that I'm
awesome.
impressed with. Um, I want to just share because I planned on doing a program this morning, and I'm going to show you the cover of what I was going to do this morning. This is the program that I had planned this morning. Can you see that?
Yeah, it says Iboga place in a $8 trillion global wellness economy.
That's right. $8 trillion. The global economy, wellness economy, is expected to expand between 2025 and 2029. It's going to expand from its current 5 trillion to at
Hmm.
least 8 trillion, perhaps closer to $9 trillion. So
Wow.
if you know 3 years, 4 years in advance,
Hmm.
where 3 or 4 trillion new dollars is going to show up in the global economy, there's
Hmm.
only one question. How much of that 3 or 4 trillion new dollars does your plan capture?
Exactly. That's
So
that's the key right there. I mean, they have. Are you familiar with Invest Fest that comes through Atlanta every year?
I think someone recently just turned me on to that.
Okay, the brothers. I was here when they first launched. It started off these two brothers back in 20 teaching finance. They called their theme was assets over liabilities. And
Hmm.
each year it grew. The next year they had Steve Harvey. The next year they had Tyler Perry. So they started attracting a lot of billionaires, a lot of wealthy. So it's coming in August,
Hmm.
and around that topic you just posted, man, it would be great if we could put some videos together. Put together a design, a
Hmm.
series of videos. Like laying the breadcrumbs. This is it. This is a model right here that's going to be, like you just said, $8 trillion. We keep asking for reparation when we can control this industry.
That's right. When we can afford to repair ourselves by just recapturing the consumer spending back from consumption into
Yes.
investment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to share a little bit of text, and this is all interactive today. I want you to input as much as you are inspired to. I'm going to read from a text that I had prepared for my morning show today. Unfortunately, I had such terrible problems with my computer today. It was not a pretty experience at all. But I'm going to share some text. First of all, let me put this on the screen. Are you seeing Iboga ceremonies and healing rituals on your screen?
Not at this moment, just me
Yeah.
and you.
Yeah. Let me just correct this real quickly. Zoom meeting, share screen, and I'm going to put this up. And here is what I am sharing. And you tell me when you can see it.
What did I just do? Okay, let me go back to Zoom. I got it up. What the heck?
It
Where
should
is my video?
it,
My video's gone now.
it should say
Okay,
Iboga ceremonies and healing rituals of Central Africa.
got it.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it in front of me. Yeah.
Dynamite. I'm going to go through. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't do that. Do this. I'm going to go through. Uh, Let me put it back up. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button.
Oh no, you
Sh
good.
Share screen. Screen sharing has stopped. Now let me start it again. Share screen to where is it? Doggone it. I hate when I do that. I think this is it. It's entitled, That's Not It. Wait a minute. Bear with me. Should be just a few seconds. This is it. And you should see the screen up, and I'm gonna make sure it's in share mode.
Sure.
Okay, do you see Iboga ceremonies and healing rituals?
Sorry. Oh, is it a
Wait a minute.
yeah, it
Okay.
looks like an email. Is that it? Click I got
No,
no, this looks like the
this
email.
yeah, this is not it. One second. Stop share
Okay.
and start sharing one more time. And this is it right here. You should be able to see it now. Iboga ceremonies and healing rituals of Central Africa, correct?
Right now it says okay, there it is. It was a
Okay.
delay, but it popped up. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through this document. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think you're
Okay.
going to get a good idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm very interested in anything health, holistic that's gonna bring wellness. So yes, I am.
Okay. This is a detailed look at how the Iboga plant is used ceremonially, and its broader indigenous applications and its safety profile in traditional contexts. Iboga, Tabernanthe iboga, is a perennial rainforest shrub native to West Central Africa, primarily thriving in Gabon, Cameroon, and the Congo region. For centuries, the root bark of this plant has served as a central sacrament for the Bwiti religion, an initiatory and ancestor-centered spiritual system practiced by the Fang, Mitsogo, and Apindji peoples. In these societies, Iboga is never treated as a recreational drug. It is a sacred entheogen. Entheogen means it turns on our spiritual revelation. And bear with me, it
Yeah.
turns on our spiritual revelation. And let me go back, get that last sentence. Uh, where was I? It's never treated
Yeah.
as a recreational drug. It
Iboga.
is revered as a sacred entheogen used for
Hmm.
profound moral, social, and spiritual transformation. The ceremonies are highly structured and orchestrated by a ritual specialist or healer, often known as an inganga or nima. The leader
Mm-hmm.
is responsible for overseeing the precise dosing of the root bark, for
Mm-hmm.
guiding the ceremonial rhythm, and interpreting the visions of the participants. The ritual process is deeply demanding and often framed as an ordeal designed to push the participant to their limits. In Bwiti initiation rites, Iboga is consumed to induce a symbolic death and rebirth experience. Initiates are typically required to fast or severely restrict their food intake before the ceremony begins. Now, for just to put this in context, because this is several documents into it, but
Mm-hmm.
Iboga is used for addiction therapy. Had you heard of it before?
No,
No.
actually, I haven't.
Iboga is able to take a person from an opioid addiction. And in the
Mm-hmm.
United States, there are 100,000 deaths in the year 2021 attributed to opioids. It can take them
Right.
from opioid addiction to no addiction at all after one session.
That is crazy.
It can
Wow.
take someone off of alcohol in one session, depression, post traumatic stress disorder. It can cure these addictions and
Like,
bad thought patterns in one session. So, this is the indigenous ritual. Now, we're going to talk about the alkaloid, which is called obirogaine. Wait a minute, that's not obirogaine. Ibuprofen, which is the extracted alkaloid. Now, that's the Western pharmaceutical application for it. So let me pick it up.
this ibogaine has that what you just said in it.
Yes, the alkaloid extract. That's,
Alkaloid extract.
Western medicine goes into your traditional herbs and extracts a substance, and then they say this substance gave the cure. But we
Yeah.
say the whole use of the plant and its complementary compounds is the experience, and the experience is the cure. It's a different way of thinking. That's why we're
Correct.
Africans.
That's exactly right.
The setting of the ritual is communal, nocturnal, and highly sensory. As participants consume the Iboga root bark, which is either chewed directly or ground into a powder and swallowed with water, the community sustains a continuous rhythmic environment. Drumming, hand clapping, singing, and the playing of a traditional harp or bow instruments continue throughout the night. These sonic elements are not simply background music, they are considered integral to the medicine itself, designed to
Amen.
help participants maintain a deeply altered trance-like state and safely navigate their journey. Because the
Mm.
goal is identity transformation rather than a fleeting intoxication,
Mm-hmm.
ceremonies can last for several days. At the
Yes.
high ceremonial doses used during these rites, the psychoactive effects are intense and long-lasting. Participants often enter a state described as, quote, a waking dream, unquote, characterized by vivid inner imagery, intense memory review, and deep self-examination. The cosmology of the Bwiti interprets these visions as a guided journey where the initiate communes with ancestors, confronts personal moral failures, and discovers hidden truths about their life's purpose. This intense psychological confrontation, combined with physical immobility and sheer exhaustion, ultimately
Mm.
realigns the individual within their community. Now, there are other indigenous uses of this beyond the formalized Bwiti region, which Bwiti is kind of a spiritual community. In Gabon and Cameroon, Iboga has been utilized by other indigenous groups and in various daily contexts. Now, I'm going to skip forward a little bit in this, and I want to give you kind of um, the Western profile.
Get on.
Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
section, the safety profile in traditional African medicine. Despite its profound healing potential, Iboga is a highly complex and medically dangerous plant. The
Mm-hmm.
pharmacology of its primary alkaloid, ibogaine, is unusually broad, interacting simultaneously with serotonergic dopaminergic, glutamatergic, and opioid pathways in the brain. The most severe safety concern is its extreme cardiotoxicity. Ibogaine is known to block the the HERG ion channel in the heart, which can cause QT prolongation. If you've ever seen an EKG, you'll see the blips go up when the heart beats, and then the QT period is the period at the bottom between heartbeats. So Ibogaine is known to stretch that period when the heart is between beats, and that can be dangerous if it's not properly monitored. A dangerous elongation of the heart's electrical rhythm. This disruption can lead to lethal arrhythmia, known as torsade de pointe, which results in fatalities. You had a question?
No, I'm listening to this really intently.
Okay. In traditional African medicine, severe risks are mitigated through rigorous ritual control rather than modern technology. The pre-ceremony fasting rules help prepare the body, while the constant active monitoring by the highly experienced Nganja and the surrounding community helps ensure the physical safety of the participant. The communal structure guarantees that no one undergoes the intense physical stress of the journey alone. However, the traditional model does not utilize modern medical interventions like electrocardiogram monitoring or electrolyte management, which are standard in clinical Ibogaine therapy to prevent heart failure. Because of this lack of biomedical oversight, traditional Iboga ceremonies carry a significant inherent risk of adverse and potentially fatal cardiac events. Now, let me just stop and bring you up to date because, like I say, this is about the third, maybe the fifth paper I've written on this topic. Earlier, we understood that Iboga is the traditional herb. Ibogaine is the pharmaceutical extract made into a drug. It is the Ibogaine is the only source that I have been able to locate that is associated with deaths and toxicity. Even in the use of the herb, they say it is the Ibogaine that causes the deaths. The Ibogaine is a component of the herb, but you know the herb in a natural state has complementary compounds. Also, in the United States, Iboga is considered Schedule 1 drug, which means it's banned in the United States.
Okay.
Ibogaine is not banned in the United States, and Ibogaine is the one associated with the deaths.
Game theory.
That's right. That's right. Now, I do know you can go to Mexico and get Ibogaine medical supervised therapy, or you can go to Costa Rica, get the medically supervised therapy, not in the United States. It's only experimental and research. And the cost, that's right. The cost for you to get that treatment in Mexico or Costa Rica is going to be a minimum of $5,000 and a maximum of about $12,000. Now, that's a one-time trip. In less than a week, you're going to come back a non-opioid addict. Only takes one session of this, but you have to go through the session. Now, there are these treatments going on the African continent. In fact, now that you know about the word Iboga, look it up. You're going to find 30 or so YouTube videos on it. Okay. And I was able to find a bunch of YouTube videos on it, and some very, very good ones by experienced people. Even Dr. MD Mark Hyman has several videos on this, and he's quite excited about it. So there's a lot to this. And the point I want to make is the Kujichagulia villages are designed to be destinations for the global wellness economy.
Yes, exactly.
So we can add this therapy to this and charge our people significantly less than what they would pay by going to Mexico or Costa Rica for therapy that you cannot get in the United States. not
I don't
legally. And I would
know.
venture to say probably the wealthy people are sending their children, either sending them to Mexico or Costa Rica and getting this therapy on them.
Hmm.
Because when I looked at the videos of these people going there and getting those therapies and read their
Yes.
testimonies, none of them look like us.
Yeah, they jump which is why they live a lot of them in the upper years because they get on the newest stuff every time something come out, and of course the excitement over the drug is, I mean, excuse me, over the plant is that it's a plant that they can make a drug which can make them trillions of dollars. So, like you said, the therapies are what people are looking for after 20, what do you call it, COVID. So more and
Mm-hmm.
more people are interested in health. When I saw you when I was out there in 24, I was designing a real estate business. I finished the fund that I was designing, and I have a full business plan around real estate wellness, where
Mm-hmm.
it's all therapies included with the real estate. It's kind of designed into your payment, so there's no extra fees. So
Awesome.
you get what I'm yeah. So but anyway, this right here, this is something that, like I said, I've been working on, and I didn't want to bring anything out until I was ready. I wanted to make sure that all the components and me getting into this master's class with you has really validated the time is now
Mm-hmm.
because of synchronicity. So I am so excited to actually now start running. I mean, I am no, we can talk a good game, but when do we deliver on some of these ideas?
We have to deliver, no doubt, no doubt. Now,
Yes.
I want to show you a couple of things, couple more screen shares. There, I
Okay.
found one of these places, and this is in Guadalajara, Mexico. And
Okay.
this is another screen. It's going to show you a photo gallery of the place where for $5,000 you can
Hmm.
go and get the Ibogaine therapy. You see the
Wow.
images on the screen?
Hmm.
Okay, let's just turn the pages. We'll share a few images and
Okay.
bear with me. I got to get my screen back. Okay, these are images of a retreat, a
Hmm.
Kujitagali, a community, one might say, where you can
Yes.
go and for $5,000 get the Ibogaine retreat. This one is called Ingande. They even name it after a term from the Bequet people.
Yes. In Gande. I like that. That is beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful. What country is that again?
This is in Mexico, Guadalajara.
Okay. Yeah, they made it close enough, because people take what are called in America medical vacations.
That's right. This is medical
So
tourism.
tourism, there you go. I had it wrong, but that's
Now,
exactly it.
as you look at this image, you can kind of tell
Yeah, it's
these
not us.
may or may not be the children of the privileged of the United States, but it is the children of the privileged who were addicted to opioids.
Yes.
And so these
They're
happy
getting
looking people are making their
the
conversion. I'm not mad
yeah,
at
see
them.
no, they're getting the healing when the crack epidemic hit. We got locked up and our
That's
families torn
right.
apart.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. And there is one shaman here, the Ngonga. He is flown in to give legitimacy to
Yeah,
the Ngonde, the retreat.
exactly.
And that's what we do. We give legitimacy to what they many times need. So
It's
there
all
he
about
is.
capital.
And
It's all about capitalization. They're capitalizing on this information that you're
mhm,
sharing right now. They're capitalizing on it. They see it, they believe it, they go put their money on it.
that's right. Now look at this beautiful retreat. This is gorgeous, isn't it?
Look at that. Unbelievable.
And for $5,000, a person can go there for a week and
Hmm.
come back non-addicted. You don't have to go through all of those therapy sessions. Therapy
Right.
for addiction can last for years. You can have
Yes.
relapses. The people come back and they say they don't even have a desire to drink alcohol.
That's
People who are
amazing.
coffee addicts, there's no
Hmm.
desire to drink the coffee. And it's not like it's an unhealthy obsession. Because
Right.
they've been essentially the ritual, it's a death and rebirth ritual. So you come out of it having purged yourself of all of those negative patterns. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I've got pretty close to a book length worth of material that I've collected on this, but I'm going to do work on the Ubuntu equilibrium, which I think should have a priority. And this is
Oh my
one
God.
image, and this is, it says it's time to break through. You see the screen, right? What we
Yeah.
offer. All our retreats are held within the traditional framework of the Bwiti, specifically the
Hmm.
Ngonde Mitsogo lineage. The retreats we
Mm.
offer are consistent in the dosage of Iboga medicine, the quality and depth of the experience, and the traditional rituals that prepare and support participants. The primary differences lie in location, group size, and duration. We host one annual Iboga retreat in Guatemala and one in the Czech Republic. We're highly selective about participants to ensure a safe, powerful, and aligned ceremonial circle. While we describe these as Iboga retreats, we do provide a strong traditional dose of Iboga. We emphasize that this is first and foremost a Bwiti retreat. Iboga serves as a
Hmm.
powerful amplifier, helping you turn
Okay.
inward and reveal what is already within you. It is the
Right.
Bwiti tradition itself, the living force of wisdom, guidance, protection, and ongoing support that truly facilitates transformation and continues to walk with you long after the ceremony ends. We deliver a profound experience rooted in traditional Bwiti wisdom and healing, while we share educational insights that extend beyond purely traditional knowledge. Our foundation and priority remain firmly in the preserved Bwiti tradition. This is not an Ibogaine clinic. Some of them are called Ibogaine clinics. This is not an Ibogaine clinic, nor is it a commercialized, mass-produced offering. We prioritize quality and depth over quantity. Each retreat demands substantial time, care, and intentional energy to facilitate profound energetic movement and authentic transformation for participants. We honor and keep the spirit of Iboga intact and respected, working on multiple levels far beyond the chemical. We are not a new age retreat center. We have trained traditionally in the Ngonde Mitsogo lineage with over 20 years of dedicated preparation before receiving permission to lead ceremonies and retreats and uphold the tradition as it has been preserved for thousands of years. A significant portion of our year is devoted to our responsibilities within the Bwiti community, ongoing service, and deepening our own mastery. This is not the work for the faint of heart. We seek those who are truly ready to undertake the deepest, most transformative work of their lives. So there now it's talking about the Guatemala retreat, and we're looking at the
Hmm.
cost of the retreat. I showed you the pictures, and the
Hmm.
cost $5,000 per participant. Their next retreat begins this past week, June 8th through June
Okay.
13th, 2026. So literally, it's going on right now.
Right now. Okay.
$5,000 per participant.
That's
Traditional
amazing.
Bwiti Iboga retreats maintain an intimate ceremonial circles reserved for a select few aligned participants. Well, I say we can do this as well. What
Oh,
we need
no,
to do
no doubt.
is go to Gabon, Cameroon,
Yes.
DRC, or
Yes.
wherever, and we need
Uh-huh.
to hire the Mbanga,
That's
the
exactly
person
right.
to conduct the ceremony, and we
Yes.
will underwrite it, and we have to put in enough facilities to protect the people, especially
Yes.
as we're new to this. Safety's got to come first, because
Correct.
one bad incident could destroy us forever.
Yeah.
But
But
this is from us
yeah, the
as
goal, I
Africans.
was going to say the goal is to go through as much of the training and teaching as well as some of us, like myself, possibly will go through even the ceremony because it's about respect of the spirit work they're doing. This is a respect for that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not trying to slap a label on and get paid. I want to actually, experience this elevation. And it's to me, it's what else can we ask for having access right now to this information?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, also, I have my sister friend, Harriet. Her product is called Harriet's Botanicals. You can find her on
Okay.
the internet at harrietsbotanicals.com. And my sister
Okay.
Shebet Ngok is her name. She's from Kenya, and she's a
Okay.
manufacturer of a long product line of
Okay.
traditional African medicinal herbs. So I've been in contact with her the last 2, 3 days. We've been exchanging notes back and forth, blazing, just really excited about this. And she says,
Okay.
yeah, she can make the product, and she says it's
Okay.
going to take about $100,000 to
Correct.
open up a internationally certified laboratory for
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing of the product. Then, of
Okay.
course, she has to source the product, and the product's not so difficult to source. I have some videos of traditional African medicine. Let me see, Iboga, harvesting, harvesting. Yeah, here we go. Iwoga harvest. Let me see if I can find you this video of the brothers. This is the video. Let me replay this and bear with me. I'm gonna share this one. It's not that long, just shows a bunch of brothers harvesting the Iboga root. And let me know when that's up on your screen.
You said harvesting the Iboga root. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
There
This
we
is
go.
okay, it's up on your screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Oh wow. So yeah, this is something I'd want to go through with them.
Mm-hmm. And notice the singing and the rhythmic, everything is about rhythm.
Yes. Yes. Mm.
All right. So one more video I'll share here. Let me go back and I'll share one more video. And you look at all these good Caucasian people. And I mean, there's so many videos of this up on the YouTube. So many videos. In fact, I'm kind of late to this now. I'd heard about Iboga several years ago, but no
Okay.
one really explained it to me and got me excited in it. Let's do another one of these videos. And even Joe Rogan over here
Mm-hmm.
is talking about it. But let
Yeah,
me
he
just show
does.
you um, one of these good young white people.
Iboga scrubs your brain, so I could tell the medicine was already like working in there, like clearing things out. And I just saw like images of like African culture, images of nature, images of myself when I was younger. Like it was just like a bunch of flash of images, almost like one of those,
Mm.
I don't know, when you're a kid and you have those picture things where the picture and then you flick another picture. It was like that, but super fast and super rapid. And the way that they explained Iboga to us prior was like, it's almost like this experience of leaning back and just like witnessing the medicine do its work. And that was my experience in the first ceremony, was that I was like leaning back in myself, let's say. I mean, I was like strapped to the ground because my body felt super heavy, but I was leaning back in this experience and just witnessing the medicine clean things up in my body and in my being. Iboga scrubs your brain, so I could tell the medicine was already like
All
working in
right,
there,
so
like clearing
that's
things out. And I just saw.
that. And there are many longer videos.
Yeah.
These are just some shorts here, but there's
Okay.
also hours long videos, including how to grow Ibogaine. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they say grow Ibogaine, but no, you're not growing Ibogaine. You're
You're
growing
growing Iboga.
Iboga.
Iboga is one of the
Right.
world's strongest psychedelic drugs.
You hear
Used to
do you
induce
hear
deep
it?
hallucinogenic
Yeah.
trances,
It's a
the
psych.
plant mostly grown in Gabon is under the threat of extinction. In Oyem, a
Wow.
town located about 372 kilometers from the capital Libreville, a farmer has given himself a challenge to industrially grow this plant, which is used to treat substance use disorders. He
When did this
explains
video
how
come
he
out?
plans to succeed in this
This one
venture.
is,
L'idée de planter.
The
let me see
idea
how
of
old it is.
planting,
7 years
domesticating,
ago.
developing
Wow.
plantations helps to protect the
Yeah.
plant in the wild.
Donc sur le
So in
Basically
terms of
2019.
protection, this is already a very important aspect. But also, we see that there's a huge traffic which generates a lot of money,
qui génère,
but which does not bring back to the country.
rapporte pas au pays.
Never
And
does.
so it's in this framework also, in the process of diversification of our economy, that this plant, I think, plays a very important role.
Elle peut jouer un rôle très important.
This sculptor can attest to this because he consumes the Iboga tree products, and according to him, it helps him to concentrate and to be skillful in his work.
Quand j'en consomme,
When I consume Iboga, when I do my work, it inspires me. It propels my mind. I can stay a whole day
man.
without thinking about going to the toilet,
Man,
without
I'm ready to go
thinking
to
about
Africa.
eating. I can hardly think about drinking water, but it's not really that. Actually, it connects me with my genius self, and I'm really connected with my art.
avec mon art.
The largest and oldest reserves of Iboga have been decimated by poachers who are destroying plant stocks to harvest root bark for sale to black market and grey market producers. The government of Gabon is currently considering criminalizing international trafficking of Iboga. In the year 2000, the plant was declared a national treasure by the Council of Ministers. It enjoys protection and official recognition as a cultural heritage strategic reserve.
Wow.
Now,
That's
understanding what he was talking about in its milder doses, let me just stop this. In its milder doses, it is a stimulant like caffeine or what's that plant they chew over there?
Yes.
Chat. Is it called chat or something? They chew it to get a
Yeah,
mild
yes.
stimulant. And
Uh-huh.
but in the heavy doses, it does get you into hallucinations. That's where
Okay.
you see the rapid images, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really quite amazing. And now you and I both know about it. We then
Yeah.
ask the question, can we begin to move in a direction where something very productive can come out of it? And,
Yeah,
I'm sorry
wanna
that the
go.
rest of the group isn't here with us, but it only takes two of us.
Hey man, you're pouring into me. I want you to know that it, like Martin Luther King, it only take one person dedicated to the cause to stir up. And
Mhm.
you definitely have stirred me up with your research, and my love for Africa and your love. So it's kind of synergy here.
That's right. That's right. No doubt. So let me come out of there. I put a bunch of this stuff up in the WhatsApp group. So if you've been in
Okay.
the WhatsApp group for the last 2 days, you're going to see a whole bunch of this stuff up there. I tried to do my morning show today, but my computer is so slow. I'm almost wondering, is there someone that's recently discovered me that's messing with me? Because it is like
You
really,
back up. You back up your
yeah.
couple things. I built computers, so I don't know your systems, but what's the RAM you have on your systems? Your main
Oh,
computer.
yeah, my main computer is 12 gigs of RAM on my laptop. That's my main computer. It's going to be pretty sufficient. The problem is the internet stream. Internet
Okay.
stream has been severely choked. I use speedtest.net to check the
Mhm.
upload and download speeds, and it's supposed to be doing over 10 times what it's doing
Yes.
right now. So I need
They
to
say
talk to,
yeah,
need to
they say you're gonna get 100 download speed or 300, and you get less than 100.
this was supposed to be download of 945,
Wow.
and it is downloading about 28 or 29, and the upload
Yeah.
is supposed to be up to 100. I check it, it's uploading about 2.3 or 2.5 megs. I can check it
How are you,
right now. I mean, that's
how in
just,
the world are you operating?
I can't operate
Like that,
anymore.
it sounds like dial-up.
It's worse. Let me just double check this real quick because I do speedtest.net. You
Yeah.
use that one?
What is that? Oh my
speedtest.net,
God.
and it's going to tell me in just a couple of minutes how fast it is uploading and downloading. And upload is about 60 upload, which if it were consistent at that, I could work with 60 upload, even though it's
Okay.
disgraceful. But the
Yeah.
download is the download. Now, this is the download at 65.65. And right now, it's uploading at the fastest upload speed it has done all day long. And it's uploading
Mm-hmm.
at 22 megs
I
per
cannot
second,
believe that. That
which
is
it should be
crazy.
100. It should be 100. So we're going to have to talk to the Cox Cable Company because I suspect they are responsible for this slow speed. And in my morning show, when I need to run like 2 or 3 computers downloading and 1
Mm-hmm.
or 2 uploading at the same time, it don't work at all. It's just chop,
Right.
chop, chop. And so this morning I had to cut my radio show because it was just choppy and it was unwatchable. But we're going to be piece by piece, we're going to be solving our problems, putting something in place that will work.
Yes.
So let me tell me what you hear.
Huh?
Tell me what you're hearing.
Right now?
Well, I mean, what do you think about this whole idea about Iboga, retreats, Kujitagalia village, Ubuntu,
I
equilibrium?
I feel confident that money needs to put towards a series. Um, and it needs to be posted like without you having any of these technical issues. All that has to be repaired, paid for, your speeds. Here's what I would love to do with you. People want to invest in something they believe in, but they need to know their money is safe. And most times we all have good intentions, but if the back of the company is not structured right, money can be lost. And that's the number one thing you don't want to do when you're raising capital for whatever. It could be one project like the 150. You said 100. I'm gonna say 150 for the project you were saying with the lady in over in Africa,
The laboratory.
the laboratory. So if we were going to put together something to raise that money, then we need to have a, a fund in place. You need to have something in place separate from the actual company that's going to help orchestrate it. That's where equity funds come in at, where the money goes into a fund and then it's distributed as the project moves along.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Now there is one company, and I've got them bookmarked here. I'm just trying to remember where I bookmarked them at. There's one company that I have here, and I'll have to go back in and look him up again. It's a brother. He was the one who I had interviewed my friend this week, my
mhm,
friend Shabette, Harriet from
okay,
Harriet's Botanicals. And I
yeah.
saw the interview he did with her on his website, and it was really quite spectacular. And the name of this company is just right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't grab it right now. But I'll have it. I can put it up in the WhatsApp group. Have
What do
you?
they? What would the purpose they be for us right now?
They are an
What we're
investors group.
They're an investors group.
Hmm.
Okay,
And they're
so
raising
before we,
hundreds of thousands of dollars for Black-owned businesses on the
okay,
African continent.
on the African continent. So what we would need to do is we would need to put together a business plan
Hmm.
because the one thing about investors, they want all the answers. So if you present them a business plan and it's a pitch deck, and we've covered every question they could possibly come up with, plus we're available to actually pitch it to them when they're ready. We can pitch this to a few different investment or groups.
Hmm.
So yeah, and there's a bunch here as well. So in Atlanta, and I actually
Hmm.
went to one at Tech 2 months ago because I have 2 apps I did, and I went to it to see how this works, how I can raise some capital. Previously, I've raised money in a fund, but now I want to literally raise it for these projects, these real estate, holistic health projects. So I would say that's the key right now. I would have to I don't mind doing it. I mean, I charge a lot, like most people, for putting together, with the years of finance. But I'm willing to put one together if me and you want to go ahead and collaborate on that, and then we can put it out there. And
Mm-hmm.
it tells the people, okay, who's managing this company, how it's going to be handled, where is the money going directly, because they want to know all of that. What's the turnaround time? And we can't send money to Africa unless all of these are components are in place and the money's in a what I would call an what do they call that? An impound account with an attorney who distributes it.
Escrow.
Yeah, an escrow account. There we go. With an attorney, it would be distributed, but it's based on performance. We're not going to allow them to say, "Well, this happened," and that can't happen. We can't speculate with other people's money when we're trying to build our own reputation so we can keep borrowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
good sense. I've got.
And I can put that infrastructure in place. I've worked
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of attorneys. I have the financial background and the business plan. So I think that's where we're at. You have a book that you want to put out. You also have the dossier for all the work you've been done your research on. All we need now to do is a pitch deck, company, and what we anticipate happening. That research lab, that's just one. Underneath this company, this fund, we're talking about buying real estate and converting them into wellness. We're talking about setting up the retreat. So
Mm-hmm.
all of these are projects within the fund. So the fund can start off at 100 minimum, all the way to 1 million or 10 million. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it comes down to performance. Lastly, I'm gonna say, once we got the pitch deck ready, we're gonna have an app as well, and all the videos that we needed done to explain in general how we're moving forward. For me, everything is about infrastructure and systems. If that's in place, Petey, I don't see us having a problem raising any money.
Awesome, awesome. I I love what I'm hearing. Let's definitely agree
We're
to
gonna
continue go forward. At a certain point, we'll put together a memorandum of understanding between you and I, so that we
That's
can make sure that
exactly.
the paperwork always
Yeah.
catches up with where our spirits are. But
Hallelujah. I
as
love that.
as you know, the money doesn't mean much.
Mm-mm.
The Ubuntu
No.
equilibrium is the
Yes.
primary driver of where we're
That's
going
right.
with this.
The
I want to show
spirit,
you
the spirit.
one more thing.
Yeah.
I've got this other slideshow, and I'm going to put this up in the WhatsApp group. I love this particular slideshow, and it's going to be coming up in 1 second. Let me share the screen. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see the Iboga Wellness Frontier up on your screen.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yes, sir.
The Iboga Wellness Frontier, projecting the $320 million market for medically supervised psychedelic
Hold on a
addiction.
second. Petey, excuse
Mhm.
me. I'm getting a vibration with your voice, and it's overlapping your actual voice, the vibration. Speak now.
Okay, projecting the
Okay.
320 million market.
Yeah. It's vibrating, it's giving a vibration like while
Yeah,
you
that's the quality of it's going out. That's what my morning program
oh
turned out to be, and
wow.
I had to scrap the whole thing.
Oh God, that is horrible. But
Well,
let's go ahead and
can
fight through it then.
Yeah, can you read it? You sound great. Can you read the screen? Is it large enough?
Yeah, I can see it. Let me get my other glasses. I have what? Oh, there we are.
Because if not, I can just push this up so you can have
No, I
access to
can.
it. But this is
I
really
can.
exciting.
All right. So we're at Iboga Wellness Frontier,
Yes, go ahead.
projecting the $320 million market for medically supervised psychedelic addiction tourism in Africa 2024 through 2029. Synthesizing ancient, how do you pronounce that?
Bwiti,
Bwiti,
Bwiti.
synthesizing ancient Bwiti traditions with modern clinical safety to disrupt the $54 billion US addiction industry and capture a critical segment of the global wellness expansion. The crisis, currently 100,000 plus annual US overdose deaths in 2021. The $54 billion US addiction industry relies on the failing daily maintenance model, Yeah, that's what they got us on. Do I read across or down?
Across and then.
And then down. Okay, the disruptor, 36-hour reset. Ibogaine is the only known compound to physically interrupt opioid withdrawal and completely reset dopamine, serotonin, reward circuitry. Wow, the great thing about this is that we're always behind, like you said. And even though that drug is out there, Ibogaine, whatever the name of it is, we still aren't really concentrating on, like you just did with the research, going all the way back to where did they get it from? And if it's working, why aren't we doing it for ourselves? So kudos to you for that.
I say.
Okay. The African moat, that's what we need. Yes, sir. Zero compromise safety, bridging indigenous Central African Bwiti wisdom with Western 24/7 ECG monitoring. Safety creates a premium, legally secure, and unreplicatable wellness product. Finally, the valuation, 320 million TAM capture.
That's traditional African medicine.
Traditional, oh my God, I didn't know that. Okay. Estimating regional value across Gabon, Cameroon, DRC, and Kenya by 2029, capturing a high net worth slice of the $5 billion global wellness expansion. This is amazing. Holy crap. We don't jump on this one. Oh man, that's amazing. The paradigm shift, pharmaceutical maintenance versus curative intervention. The status quo, opioid replacement, mechanisms, receptors, substitution, replacing highly euphoric opioids with methadone. Oh my God.
Buprenorphine. Buprenorphine.
Buprenorphine. That's amazing. So they're doing the same thing with the heroin addicts.
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
And there's a lifelong daily maintenance?
Yes, duration, lifelong daily. That's crazy. Efficacy, dropout of relapse, 40% dropout by month, 5, methadone. Only 1 in 5 remain abstinent 4 weeks after dropping, whatever you call it.
Buprenorphine.
Buprenorphine. Okay, got it. Buprenorphine. The Iboga, how you say Iboga disruption?
Iboga disruption.
Iboga receptor reset, interrupting withdrawal entirely without substitution. Actually, I need a reset, bro. Okay. 3 to 6 days acute metabolism process. 50% abstain completely at month 1. 30% remain opioid free at 12 months. Wow. With dramatically improved social family status. That is a major number there. Insight, pharmaceutical incentives structures favor daily prescriptions. Iboga disrupts this by shifting the economic model from a lifelong pharmacy dependency to a curative, premium destination retreat.
Curative. That's instead of curative, it's curative.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yes. That's amazing. Again, this is a powerful. I don't know if you put that up on the group, but that would be nice. This is a powerful piece that you put together.
I'll put it up shortly.
Okay, dual efficacy, how Iboga works. Modern pharmacology, rapid metabolization to
Noribogaine.
Noribogaine. Receptors reset physically, rebuild neuroplasticity, and repairs reward pathways damaged by chemical dependency. What's the upregulated of the GDNF in PTA and BDNF in NACC, based on Frontiers in Pharmacology 2019. The psycho-spiritual cleanse. Oh my God, see, they got me on this one. The rapid file defrag of the mind. Yes, sir. Intense 36-hour awakening dream state. Facilitates accelerated experiential dynamic psychotherapy by safely encountering repressed trauma and connecting with ancestral roots.
This also works with some post-traumatic stress disorder as well.
Okay, wow. This is amazing. Again, Americans, Black Americans, they actually all need to go through this.
That's right.
Wow. The entourage effect. Full spectrum root bark in a ceremonial context treats both the physical dependency and the underlying psychological trauma, often outperforming isolated clinical ibogaine. The safety imperative, de-risking the investment. Layer 1, medical oversight. Pre-screening, continuous 24/7 ECG monitoring, electrolyte management, and on-site crash charts.
Crash carts. In case you're going out, they bring in the crash cart.
Wow, on-site crash. Okay. The threat, cardiotoxicity, HERG
channel. That's the bottom of your electrocardiogram, that extended period, that longer period, QT prolongation.
Okay. So that channel's blocking cause QT prolonged and fatal I forgot that word.
Arrhythmias is irregular heartbeat.
Yes, and I actually had it. I grew up with they said I had a heart murmur when I was younger. I'm gonna go to number 2 layer. Layer 2, therapeutic container. Pre and post care accelerated experiential dynamic psychotherapy, AEDP, integration to treat root trauma. Layer 3, cultural grounding, training, guidance from indigenous Bwiti initiates. You're going to have to help me with those words there.
Nganga, that's what they call, that's what you call the trained guide.
Okay. To safely navigate the intense 36-hour mind cleanse. Takeaways. Offshore, unregulated underground administration has caused death. Medically supervised African clinics neutralize this risk, creating an impenetrable moat for institutional investment. Now, that's a key point right there because, again, we're doing it with the indigenous as opposed to, like you said, unsupervised people just bringing someone in who's probably might not even be, certified in this work, but he's coming from Africa, so people, you can get taken. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, like the Rastas. When the Rastas came through, everybody was a reggae singer just because they had locks.
I didn't realize you have a guest. Is it Manny?
There's someone else in the house.
I see Mani, Manny.
Manny is in the house. Great to have you with us, brother Manny. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. Just got off of work, so
Oh, you just got off of work? Well, luckily we're recording it today. I think, and maybe Keenan will agree, you definitely do not want to miss this one. This is perhaps the most important one we've done so far. Let's continue. Next slide. We're almost through. We're about halfway through this.
Okay, number 6. Did you want to give him an update on what we're reading before?
Let's go through this and then we'll have an open conversation. He can get the update then.
Okay, the Iboga Frontier.
What we're reading from right now is a slideshow I prepared comparing our indigenous solution, which is Iboga. Have you ever heard of Iboga, Manny?
No, never.
Okay, well, get excited because this is the most exciting thing you could ever imagine. If someone has been an opioid addict in the United States, there are 100,000 deaths a year in a $59 billion opioid treatment industry. With Iboga, a traditional African ceremony, we can now get rid of that entire addiction in 3 days.
Wow.
It's amazing. It sounds too good to be true. Yes, it is too good to be true, but it's true. Continue, brother.
Back to, what we have here?
Plant versus isolate?
Yeah. Okay, plant versus isolate. Understanding the assets. Tabernanthe. Say it again.
Tabernanthe, Iboga. It sounds like tabernacle, but Tabernanthe.
Tabernanthe, Iboga, the plant, contains multiple complex alkaloids, native to Central Africa rainforest, utilized by the Bwiti for spiritual initiation and ancestor communion, produced a longer, broader, emotional, complex experience.
Mm-hmm.
Iboga, the isolate, a single purified psychoactive alkaloid, the primary focus of Western biomedical addiction research. Shorter duration, higher targeted pharmacology action for acute withdrawal.
The hybrid advantage.
Yeah, the hybrid advantage, okay? African medical tourism uniquely offers both the clinical precision of the isolation for acute 3-day detox, followed by the full spectrum plant in a ceremonial context with deep psychospiritual integration.
Okay.
The geographical deployment, the African ecosystem. That's amazing. I like what I'm seeing here. Gabon, the epicenter, home of the Bwiti region, holds the
religion.
highest.
Bwiti religion?
Region? Oh, religion. My bad. Got one good eye. Cataracts. Okay, holds the highest authenticity premium. So they have the most concentrated form of it. Ideal for ultra luxury, culturally immersive retreat phases. Cameroon, the traditional extension, shares the ancestral healing context. Target for mid-tier hybrid clinics, combining indigenous practice with emerging medical oversight. Okay. DRC, the resource hub, native rainforest habitat, massive untapped potential for sustainable cultivation, ecotourism, and secure botanical supply chains.
And we need to
Then
lock down those botanical supply chains ASAP. Continue.
I agree with you. Locking them down. Kenya, the clinical gateway, established luxury safari and advanced medical tourism infrastructure, ideal base for acute medical detox hubs and ICU level cardiac monitoring. That's amazing because that's the tech center over there. Yeah.
And that's where our manufacturing partner is located. She is located in Nairobi, Kenya, and she's actually comes from London, where she was trained as an investment banker.
Man, I need to talk to her, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got the right one. I'm ready to fly over there, boy, this summer.
This is pretty exciting. I'm ready to go too.
We're going to speak. We're culminating with the closer with the book, but at the same time, a lot is being birthed out of it, as you said earlier, with all the insights. So here we are. We at the marketing sizing framework, the TAM,
traditional African medicine.
Okay, addressable.
Oh, total addressable market, but it's actually traditional African medicine.
Okay, and SAM, which is serviceable available market, and SOM, serviceable obtainable market. So we're going to start with TAM at 54 billion US addiction market by 2025. So we passed that number. 5 billion global wellness market expansion by 2029. That's about $1 billion a year.
And that should not say 5 billion. That should say 5 trillion. That's an error there. That wasn't my mistake. That was Notebook Elliott made that mistake. $5 trillion global expansion.
Let me put a pin in that for a second. I want to say something. So I don't know if you know, what's his name? Elon Musk launched SpaceX today. He went public. Did you know about it?
Yeah, I was aware of that. It was coming out.
So he became the stock allowed him to become the first trillionaire on paper. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, that company lost $5 billion last year, but somehow it has a $1.27 trillion valuation. Isn't this wild how this game theory and how they create these markets out of $0. And here we are talking about a real market. And we have to almost emphasize that this is a real $1 trillion market that you can put your money into. So this is a great comparison when you pull them together and look at them, and you don't really see anything. SpaceX is valued at that money for what they believe it'll do.
That's right.
Down the road. You know,
It's
this is
almost like the
valuable.
fiat dollar.
That's exact, and they do it over and over. They raise the money. So why
That's
can't
right.
we raise it with something for real?
That's right.
Anyway, Sam, $1.2 billion alternative psychedelic treatment segment. That's powerful. Capturing high net worth individuals and treatment resistant users forced to seek offshore options due to the U.S. Schedule 1 restrictions.
Again,
Always slapping it on it. There they
they
go.
slap that on the natural herb, but not on a
Mhm.
refined drug, which is the deadly one.
That's the how you give it up. Let's not
Yeah,
even
it
go.
is what it is.
It is, yeah. So okay, here we go. Serviceable obtainable market, the SOM. $320 million target capture for the four-nation African coalition by 2029. So you're saying there's a $320 million valuation market there. Is that annual?
Yes, that's the annual market. 320 million. That's in the
Million.
wellness tourism caused by opening up this product.
That's a niche in the tourism. Strategic insights with US FDA approval realistically years away, properly capitalized offshore African safe havens hold a highly lucrative temporary monopoly on legal high-end care. That's amazing.
That's true.
They
But
have to execute accordingly.
it
Yes.
says temporary monopoly, meaning the
Right.
window will not stay open for us forever. We got to move quick.
I really, man, you're making me want to run now. I'm ready to like package this up and go to some of these athletes in Atlanta. We got a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but here we go. The revenue estimation by nation, 2029 projections targeting a total regional value of $320 million. The white represents clinical fees, the green represents retreat hospitality, and the gold integrated coaching and supplies. So Kenya has $120 million market, which is roughly what? 80, what is that? 82% of
82% clinical
will be
fees.
clinical fees, okay. 60% in retreat hospitality, 11% in integrated coaching. Highest volume generator leverages existing luxury co-tourism and hospital infrastructure to process the acute, high margin medical detox phase safety. By the way, I think your voice came back properly. I'm not sure.
All right.
Yeah, it did actually.
Okay. Well, I can read if you would like, but you're doing a good job.
Okay, I mean, if you want me to keep going, I'll finish this one.
Mm-hmm.
Gabon has a $90 million, 17% clinical feed, 90% retreat hospitality, 17% integrative coaching supply. Low volume, ultra premium pricing, the Mount Everest of authentic Bwiti initiations. Yeah, I'm going to that.
Mm-hmm.
Commanding luxury price points for verified traditional integration.
Mm-hmm.
Love this. Cameroon, 60 million with 60% clinical, 50% retreat hospitality, and what's that, 17.5% integration. Captures the mid-market with hybrid clinics that merge indigenous practice with standard medical oversight. That'll make Westerners feel good.
Mm-hmm.
DRC is 50 million for integrated coaching and supply chain. That's their largest, and 20% for retreat and 17.5%
or 10% is
for
in clinical
10%
fees.
for clinical, right.
Mm-hmm.
Revenue driven, primarily business to business, B2B, sustainable supply chain and management, ethical plantation exploitation, exports, and specialized eco retreats.
All right.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
next, the patient journey, the complete $25,000+ premium package. Phase 1, preparation. This is done in remote. Rigorous pre-screening, psychological profiling, comprehensive blood work, and baseline electrocardiogram clearance to rule out pre-existing arrhythmias. Phase 2, the medical detox. This takes place in Kenya and Gabon. The $10,000+ phase, 3 to 6 day administration of Iboga HCl. Now, I'm saying there is a distinction between Iboga and Iboga. I prefer Iboga is the natural ceremony. Patient is monitored 24/7 in an ICU grade setting for cardiac
Yes.
safety, while physical
Right.
withdrawal is interrupted. Now, what they're talking about is appropriate for the use of ibogaine. And for many of our people who are so accustomed to Western medicine, even if Western medicine kills them, they're still accustomed and they don't want to change. We may have to meet them where they are. Phase 3, psycho-spiritual retreat. This is getting into the Iboga, the 10,000 plus phase, 7-day full spectrum Iboga root therapy led by Bwiti initiates, utilizing acoustic design for deep psychological defragging. And in phase 4, integration, remote. The $5,000 plus phase, 3 to 6 months of continuous AEDP coaching to cement neuroplasticity and to ensure the 30% long-term abstinence rate.
That that second one, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but the phase 2, if we have to do that, I mean, I would recommend a separate LLC that's like a sister company. We recommend only because possibilities of death cause because we're using that drug, even though we're practicing all safety protocols.
Yeah,
it would stop the entire company from being sued and pulled down.
That's right. That's right.
Along with bad press. But anyway, that was just a thought.
That's right. Going forward, the economic moat. This is the protection area you're thinking about. Sustainable sourcing. The threat, global underground demand, is currently causing severe over-harvesting and deforestation of wild Iboga. The solution, plantation to clinic, vertical integration, establishing ethical commercial plantations in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Gabon. The economic model, growing Iboga alongside intermediate yield cash crops like pineapples. Pineapples fund the daily operations and fuel, while the slow-growing Iboga matures into a highly valuable export. This guarantees sustainable yields for the clinics, while ensuring profits are reinvested in local African agricultural economies rather than extracted by foreign pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, that's literally written right into your business plan, that part.
That's right. Geopolitical and regulatory hurdles, regulatory instability, the risk, shifting legal statuses across African borders, mitigation, lobbying to establish special medical economic zones, modeling the successful legal frameworks currently active in New Zealand and South Africa. Cultural appropriation, the risk, backlash, and loss of authenticity from extracting indigenous sacraments. The mitigation, mandatory, legally bound equity partnerships and profit sharing with indigenous Bwiti organizations. Patient mortality, the risk, underground style fatalities from QT prolongation. That's that part of the electrocardiogram where your heart is the upward blip, but that space at the bottom, that line between them gets extended. That's the QT prolongation. That is the risk of death. Mitigation, strict, non-negotiable Western medical protocols, electrocardiogram, hydration, crash carts, enforced at all retreat sites, regardless of traditional setting. And that's not unreasonable, at least until we get this up and running and on some sort of pattern.
Correct.
Clinical integration, the modern African clinic. Zone A, the ICU detox wing, built to stark Western hospital standards, designed exclusively for the critical 24 to 48 hour noribogaine metabolization phase, features central monitoring stations. Zone B, the Bwiti ceremony temple, aesthetically rooted in the jungle, features specific acoustic architecture optimized for traditional harp and drumming frequencies, fire elements, and communal space. And Zone C, post-care eco villas, luxury hospitality infrastructure, quiet private environments designed for rest, somatic processing, and the prolonged neuroplastic integration phase. The synthesis, bridging the gap between the sterility of a hospital and the ruggedness of a jungle retreat to ensure both uncompromised safety and ethnographic authenticity.
Ethnographic. What
That's
is that?
right.
Ethnographic. Graphic.
Ethnographic means cultural authenticity.
Okay, fantastic.
Roadmap to 2029, 2024-25, groundwork and sourcing. Secure seed funding. Establish ethical, vertically integrated plantations in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Gabon. And finally, finalize clinical and cultural safety protocols. The next phase, phase 2, 2026 and 2027, the clinical hubs. Open flagship gateway clinics in Kenya, leveraging existing medical tourism infrastructure. Implement large-scale training of local staff in continuous cardiac monitoring and AEDP therapy integration. And the third phase, regional domination. Expand the authentic retreat networks in Gabon and Cameroon. Fully capture the target $320 million market segment as the global wellness and psychedelic tourism center peaks. Magic is just science that we don't understand yet. That quote from Arthur C. Clarke. Opening safe, culturally grounded Iboga facilities across Central and East Africa is not just an answer to the West's $54 billion opioid failure. It is an actionable opportunity to build a $320 million regional economy that reclaims Africa's ancestral wisdom as new frontier for global neurological restoration. Magic is just science that we don't understand yet. And from what we explained today, and brother, we do want all of us to really fully critically understand. So brother Mani, are there any questions, any parts of this that you may have missed that brother Keenan or myself might be able to explain to you? You'll need to unmute yourself. Okay, brother Mani must have stepped away from his microphone for a little bit. Can you hear us? Your microphone is muted. Can you unmute? Okay, we hear you now.
Yeah, well, it seemed like you guys are talking about some type of clinic. Is that correct?
Yes, we're talking about an indigenous African plant. It's called Iboga. Iboga has been known for about 2 decades or more as the plant that can heal addiction after one session. Now, in the traditional settings, the session might last 3 days and you go deep, deep, deep inside. You're starting to hear about Iboga all over the place. There's at least 30 YouTube videos on it, YouTube shorts and long videos, but you're going to see a lot about it now that it is in your lexicon.
Okay. So go ahead now. Now this plant is coming from what part of Africa again?
It's across Central Africa. It's primarily Gabon and Cameroon are the centers of the Bwiti religion, of which it is a cultural extension of that ethnic group practices. And actually, I have traced it back to the Twa people, the so-called pygmies. And if we look at the Twa people from the beginning of human civilization across the Nile Valley, the Twa were there. Now we are at a phase where civilization is at a major crossroads around the planet. And who do we find central to one of the most important parts of what is going on right now? The global addiction crises, alcoholism, drugs, opioids, the Twi people, or Twa, I should say, the Twa are back again. And we look to them because there is an ancestral and ancient wisdom there that they have held on to. The whole world has treated them like, quote, pygmies, which is a pejorative term created by the British to describe these beautiful, wonderful, short people with huge hearts.
Yes, my goodness.
So we have the opportunity to go forward, to move very boldly, very deliberately with this, Brother Mani, but we don't have a lot of time. We're really, as African people, we are really late to this party, which we should have owned it from the beginning. This is coming from Africa. Even the pharmaceutical is manufactured only from African grown root stock. So this is a place where we're going to declare a raw resource boycott of the pharmaceutical companies that have unfairly targeted us for raw resources and then keep all of the profit for themselves while giving us just a little trickle off the top for us. No, we need to go a completely different direction with this. It's not going to be easy, but the beautiful thing about it is I got a lot of the work done just this week in finding a manufacturer. We do have to find the practitioners of the retreat, and we have to set everything up. It's going to be a we thing. It's not going to be a me thing. This is an example of, what did we say this is an example of? Ubuntu equilibrium.
Equilibrium. Yes.
Let's keep those two words together. It is a unique formulation of words, and I looked it up. We are the origin of that term, Ubuntu equilibrium.
That's amazing.
Any further questions, Brother Taharka? We want you to be, I know you have to have your obligations to do your work, etc., but we want you to get caught up because this is really exciting stuff we're talking about.
Okay. I'm following along now. You saying, so this right here, you have a connection to bring this type of medicine to the United States. Is that correct?
No. To bring the United States to where we are going to host this medicine. In the United States, Iboga is classified as a Schedule 1 narcotic, meaning it's on the same level in their mind as cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, and according to the federal government, marijuana. But in traditional African societies, it is the Bwiti ritual. It is a spiritual ritual, a ceremonial engagement. And when one comes out of that ceremonial engagement, after 3 days, you're cured of your opioid addiction, which kills 100,000 people per year in 1921 or 2021 in the United States. 100,000 people died, and it's part of a $59 billion, largely failing addiction treatment process.
Okay, so you're going to bring the African people, or the people that need this treatment, to Africa to get treatment?
That's right. We're going to start resorts or wellness retreats. We call them Kujichagalia villages in one hand, but we're going to start these wellness retreats, and we can start the first retreats after we find a practitioner who can administer the ceremony and then find a location to conduct the retreats, etc. The retreats, I did show Brother Keenan a web page where the retreats are being hosted. We took a photographic tour, absolutely beautiful place, but you cannot get it in the United States. You can go to Guadalajara, Mexico, or Costa Rica and get the treatment. It costs about $5,000 for the retreats in Guadalajara. And it can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000 for a one-time retreat. And the thing is that you get the cure in just a few days. How much would an opioid addicted family member, how much are they worth?
Yeah, without a doubt. A lot more than $5,000, that's for sure.
A whole lot more.
whole lot. And I see the use of this in other areas. I mean, people who have just general addictions, brain fog. I mean, there's a lot of things it's going to help with more than. But I get that it's being utilized specifically for opioid addiction. But I
Hmm.
believe there's other addictions that it will help with as well.
That's right. And as the one gentleman who was in, I think he was in Cameroon, was speaking in the video I showed, he uses it just in a mild dose. It's considered a
Yes.
mild stimulant with no
Hmm.
addictive properties. And that's very important because a lot of
So they
people
gave
do
him.
use mild stimulants. People drink coffee, coffee, coffee. This extract, Ibogaine, can also get rid of coffee addiction. They're
Wow.
now, so I saw videos
See?
today that they're actually talking about it to, instead of GLP-1 inhibitors,
Hmm.
which are injected to interrupt the process of feeling hungry, and that
Hmm.
causes all kind of problems, including you can even get your gastroparesis, they call it. It's where your gastric tract gets paralyzed and you can no longer move waste through, and actually that can lead to gangrenous impact as
Oh my
well.
God.
Well, now they're talking about people with food addictions going through this Iboga retreat and coming out of it with a desire. They still want to eat, but not addicted.
Mm. Yeah,
I mean,
there's this is a wellness retreat. It's all about healing. And there's a spiritual component as we spoke of, along with the physical help that people will receive.
hmm and
So
personally, I think that the spiritual component is as important, if not the most important part of the difference between Iboga and
mhm.
Ibogaine, which Ibogaine is the refined pharmaceutical drug. The alkaloid has been extracted from the main plant, but the main plant has all these complementary compounds in it. The complementary
Yes.
compounds address other aspects of your
Mhm.
wholeness, your wellness.
Yes.
It
And of
almost
course
sounds like a miracle.
we know Ibogaine is not spiritually. It could be from the other side though.
It could be,
People
but
could,
we'll be have to be building a bridge between where our
mhm.
people are and where
Yeah.
we intend them to be. We intend them to be wholly and completely within the spiritual,
Yeah.
cosmological realm of this.
Amen.
But we know many of our
Yes.
people, they're addicted to Western pharmaceuticals.
That's true. Oh my God. That's a hard thing to break, I tell you.
Hmm. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to ask about it? We're going to begin to wrap it up here before too long, but we did record today's session. That's a gorgeous t-shirt you have on. What is that t-shirt?
Oh
It's
yeah, it's sacred geometry. Of course, it's got the Ra and it's got the Maya symbol. Just everything to help me stay grounded in my walk, spiritual, higher elevation. I stay
Awesome.
in higher consciousness. That's where I'm at most. And 90% of the time, I'm dealing with higher consciousness. Even in every conversation, I'm filtering it through higher consciousness.
That's awesome. Oh, awesome, awesome. And I got on the same shirt. I didn't realize, so I started that I had on
Okay,
last week. Ubuntu Equilibrium. So I guess
yeah,
while
that's
I'm
going.
in here,
And you
I
got to
am in
coin it.
Ubuntu.
You literally got to put out your first shirt because you got to coin it first.
That's right.
Yeah, so we got to. But the book's coming, so of course you're gonna have. I'm gonna make sure you have what do you call that? Your store set up for you to you set up a store, but we want you to have some other things to go with it, like the cup, the shirt,
Hmm.
maybe a head wrap with Ubuntu Equilibrium. That's a
That's what
good
I'm
place
talking
for it,
about.
right here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, we're gonna have all that in there. I promise you that.
Let me ask you, Brother Monty. I believe you answered this last week. You did get the book. I think you have the book in uh, PDF as well as paperback.
no, I just have the paperback.
Okay, so you have the paperback. Have you gotten a chance to get into it at all?
Actually, I was in Atlanta last week for a whole week, so I'm just getting back a couple of days ago. I plan on open that book up this weekend and start, getting into it.
All right. Well, there is excitement in those pages. And I'm hoping that you feel as excited about the possibilities of the road ahead as I do feel. And Brother Keenan, he is fired up as well.
Oh,
Unfortunately, the other members of our group have one by one all kind of slid to the side, giving me that one excuse. Next week, another excuse. The third week, I don't even hear from them anymore.
yeah.
It's sad, but we just doing the best we can do with what we got. We
It,
realize our people are handicapped.
it has to
Yeah.
be a way that we could connect to our people. Um, it's just finding out the way to connect to them. Um, you got to meet people where they are sometimes, but I guess you got to find out where are they before you can meet them.
Let me ask you, what do you think about that? Can you come up with a solution? Of course, that was the purpose of putting the book in your hands. Once you read the book, solutions are flying out right now. To me, I'm solving major problems every 2-3 days or so.
Well, me per se, I can just speak for myself, and I can't speak for other people. But for me, it's timing. When you're working like 10 hours a day, it's like little time for a lot of other things. Although you may want to do things, it's 24 hours in a day, and working 10 hours a day is kind of hard to do a lot of other things you like to do. So
Mm-hmm.
my position now is that I'm looking to retire within the next couple of months, within a year, but probably more so a couple of months from now. And at that time, I will have more free time to do the things that I like to do and I need to do for myself.
Awesome. Um, Let me ask both of you this, because we originally had the schedule to begin at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then some people said, well, it didn't work out for them. So we changed it to 3 hours earlier to make it 5:30, is it 6:30 Eastern time and 3:30 p.m. West Coast time. If we moved it to another time slot, would that fit either one of you, or would it make it worse?
Um,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
flexible because I just look at it like this. If you really want to do something, you'll make time for it. So you can always come up with the excuse, but again, if you really want to do something, you'll make time for it. That's just
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. Now, as far as working, being I'm still working, it's like I still gotta go by the hours. But if I'm not working, I can make time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. If I want to do something, I'm gonna make time for it.
How about you, Brother Keenan?
I mean, that's just been my whole way of living. I've been self-employed most of my adult life. So the, the matrix is having to rely on somebody else. That's the matrix. And for most people, the reason why they're not here, Manny, you said it. They work. And when they're off, they gotta run and take care of this and that.
Correct.
And so you don't really get the opportunity to express yourself the way in life, the way you really wanna. So that's a big problem, especially for boomers and Gen X, because they all got tethered to these jobs. This younger generation, they don't want to work. So they have the time. I'm not saying what they're doing is the right way, tethered. You get what I'm saying? And you
Mm-hmm.
see, if you follow some of the things they're doing, you see they're doing really well. A lot of the people who are successful that are young, because they just believe in what they created. And so, with that being said, my time has always been my time, and I'm never going to give it up.
Awesome.
I'll go with less. That's the other side of the equation. I'll go with less when things aren't working, where others might, man, you don't have money, for this or that. And I'm like, no, I'm planning to raise a large family on the income I made over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can do that for them, it was 9 or more, it was 7 kids and 2 wives. If I can do that for them, I know I can do it for me.
That's right. That's right. Um, any other things we need to be talking about this week? Any problems to be solved? Any challenges come up that we could apply game theory to? Now, at a certain point in the class, I was considering just pull out the classroom, do a little bit of lessons, but reserve the majority of it to let's apply game theory. Let's game things out.
That's where you're going to attract people with us doing stuff,
Yeah,
us
but
applying and showing it.
but if people are not reading the book, when we get to gaming, they don't know what to do. They just sit like a lump listening to us.
Yeah, the goal is to get them. Everyone's visual. Everyone's got the dopamine hit mentality. So
Mm-hmm.
you can only give them a little at a time. I follow a lot of different creators to see, again, the younger ones, how they brand themselves, because everything is branding today.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't learn to be yelling at the front of the class. Oh, look at me! Look at me! We didn't learn that. This is how they operate today. So then you have to create information that's in bite size.
Mm-hmm.
It's 30 seconds, it's 1 minute. And you got to be quick because you got to capture their attention, otherwise they'll swipe.
Mm-hmm.
But you can capture millions of people that way by creating the content and the format and how they digest it.
That's right.
This is called long form content. The goal is to extract 10, 20, 30, 50 pieces out of the long form with specifics,
And there is a chapter in the book specifically on game theory. It's called Breaking the Game, Intervening in Complex Systems. And so that's really obviously what I want to get to. How do we break the game? The game as a game is being played. We as African people are pretty much we're the recipients of someone else playing the game. Right. From that perspective, we want to break the game. Now, you saw us, we broke the Ebola game several weeks ago. Did you see that work, Brother Monty?
Yeah, I think, was that last week?
I stretched it out into last week, but it was actually almost 3 weeks ago that I broke the Ebola game. I even revisited it, and I did a third one to send to Kenya, which the Africa Roots Network is going to be using that. They're chopping it up and using it in their broadcast, their network as well. So you did catch that.
Yeah, I caught some of that. Yeah, 2 weeks of it. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think last week was the Ubuntu equilibrium. And that is the answer to the prisoner's dilemma. The prisoner's dilemma is a well-known strategy in game theory where basically you're pitting your hostile forces, your enemy forces, you're pitting them against each other. That's called the prisoner's dilemma. And the Ubuntu equilibrium gives us a foundation, a fundamental point where everything we do is pre-programmed with, I will collaborate with my African team. That's the Ubuntu equilibrium. And in my mind, we're no longer automatically losing. And when someone deviates from the Ubuntu equilibrium, then it's easy to spot them deviating. And we then set up pressure points or checkpoints or even punishment points to penalize people for deviating from the Ubuntu equilibrium.
That's correct.
And then today we focus on this it's not new, it's 20 years old, but this opportunity that's new to many of us of Iboga as a realistic solution to the global addiction problem, which in the United States is $54 billion strategy, 59 billion or 54 billion every year spent on a failed war against opioid addiction, and other addictions, alcohol addiction, all of the above. Cigarettes, if you're addicted to cigarettes, the same ritual will get you off the cigarettes in 3 days.
This is by the way, this is one of the reasons why I want my daughter's she's addicted to the vape pens, and I'm praying for her. And I told her I'm gonna put her in a program. And when you started telling me about those 5,000, I was like, okay, here we go. because the spiritual side got me out the gate because I
Mm-hmm.
want to go there and learn more anyway. But then it has these. Here's what I'd like us to do. You're giving us homework now every week. That's what we should be doing. To
Mm-hmm.
come with ideas and suggestions and have thought through it so we can actually, share it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through that section you just said in the book. What was that section you just said? I think you
Breaking the
just
game.
breaking the
That
game. Okay, yeah. And come with some strategies and or solutions that we could decide to actually here's what I would like you to do is determine what how do you want to brand the Ubuntu equilibrium? Because if you tell me let's do it, then that's kind of something that's going to be on all my posts, and I'm going to be encouraging others to repost.
Mm-hmm. Well, the
Get it?
Ubuntu equilibrium really needs to be explained to people by
Mm-hmm.
rational explainers. I'm hoping more and more people will read the book and
You
will
keep
join
saying that.
us,
You
and they
keep
will be
saying the same
joining.
thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
and will be joining us in our conversation because we need to have proper, acceptable language to be
let
able
me ask you
to
something.
explain what's in the book.
Do you want to raise capital, or do you want to just come together and talk? What do you want to do? Do you want to execute, or do you want to just get together and talk? You want people to come here and talk. Which one do you want more?
Man, this past Wednesday, I quit a group of talkers I had been with for 4 years. They kept talking
Okay, we're
about
not doing it here.
launching and talking about
Yes.
launching, and I quit this past week because
That,
I couldn't talk anymore. There's nothing more that I could say that I haven't already said. And plus, when I brought this Iboga idea to them, they just dismissed it and tried to act as talking to me like I'm a fool for even thinking about it.
wow. You are definitely in the wrong. You don't have the right crowd right now. You have to, the thing that I suggest that I'm doing, okay, and I haven't done it yet, but I know it works because I've done it before.
Hmm.
Your market is your market. And right now, you're not hitting your market.
I completely agree. I can't disagree
And
with
so
that.
that's why I'm saying we need to make continue the writings. Let's edit it out and create these smaller snippets of the information. So it'll be a book, it'll be a crumbs back to you. I want you to understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to point them somewhere without hitting them
Hmm.
over the head. And today, this generation, the one behind that and the one behind that, they're not hearing long speeches. Now, there is
That's
a
right.
group in there that will receive it and take it and run with it